Welcome to Life Lessons from Srimad Bhagavatam, where each week, twice a week, we discuss a section of the Bhagavatam and consider lessons that we can apply to life. Today, we begin a nice section. We discuss a really wonderful pastime concerning Maha-Vishnu, Arjuna, and Krishna. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. In the meantime, I'm going to chant some verses just to create an invocation of auspiciousness as we await our participants. So we discuss it. I'll read Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.40. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Danyam Svastyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Wonderful. I'll keep chanting some more verses. In the meantime, you can say hello if you wish on the chat. 1.3.41. Tad idam grahayam masha sutam atmat vatam varam sarvavedita harshanam sharam sharam samudritam. Shri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all Vedic literature and histories of the universe. 1.3.42. Satu samshravayamasa maharajam parikshitam prayopavistam gangayam paritam paramarshibi. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. This is the last verse we'll chant. 1.3.43. Krishna svadharma pagate dharma janadi bisaha kalo nastadrisham masha puranarko danodita. This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance will get light from this Purana. Let me acknowledge some of you who joined us. Say hello. We have with us Monica Sharma, who says, Hare Krishna Prabhu, and all glories to Sri Akadasi. Monica, I believe, is with joining us from California. In the meantime, on Instagram, we have, let's see, Kirtan Brahmbhat says, your voice is heart-touching. Thank you, Kirtan Brahmbhat. Jivananda joins us from the UK. Malpa812 is with us. Shimran01 is here. Punjabi Anand says, Jai Shri Krishna. Vrindavan Kalindi, Rajani Aurora, I love myself, Diaz joined. We also have Kirtan Brahmbhat says, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Nadia Purana, Murti Devidasi, and Tikur Rajvi. Thank you all for being. Sambhavat Thakur is also here. So thank you for joining. Let us begin our discussion of this wonderful pastime. Oh, a few more joined on this side. We have Shama Manjari, who says, Hare Krishna, Sri Prahlad Prabhuji. Thank you, Shama Manjari. Joining us from South Africa. Always grateful to see you here. Viren says, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Viren. Great that you could join us. Kirtida sends gratitude, and Achutananda joining us on this platform as well says, Hare Krishna. We also have with us Deepak Kumar, who says, hello. Thank you all for being here. This is a class that happens twice weekly, Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am in New York City in the United States of America. Very grateful to be sharing Bhagavatam with all of you. Our topic today is the 10th canto, 89th chapter of the Bhagavatam, verses 21 through to 65. It's Krishna and Arjuna visit Maha-Vishnu, a really wonderful story. And as an introduction, let me say that one of my favorite conversations in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Venkatabhatta, who is the head pujari at the Srirangam temple, with whom Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stays for 4 months of the rainy season. Now, they have many talks over this period, and they are wonderful. Lord Chaitanya half jokes with him to establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he offers different evidences. He discusses Lakshmi as well. Some of his evidences. He establishes that Krishna is the source of Narayana, whom Venkatabhatta worships. He's the head pujari for the Ranganath temple. He's in the Ramanuja Sampradaya. Even today, you can visit the Ranganath temple in South India, and you can see the house where Lord Chaitanya stayed. Most wonderful. If you're fortunate, you can meet that family. Indra Maharaj is very good friends with that family. Murlidhara Bhatta is the current descendant. He is a pujari also in the Srirangam temple. So his family, over 500 years, even longer, have been serving the deity. 500 years, for which we have the record from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then, of course, Venkatabhatta's brother also surrendered to Lord Chaitanya as Prabodhananda Saraswati, and his son surrendered to Lord Chaitanya as Gopal Bhatta Goswami. But those are topics for another day. Today, I just want to tell you how Lord Chaitanya references the pastime that we are discussing from the Bhagavatam today to establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll discuss this. I'm sure you've heard the story of Krishna and Arjuna visiting Maha-Vishnu, but I suspect you might not have heard it used as an evidence that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even of Lord Narayana. That's Lord Chaitanya's wonderful observation and contribution to the discussion of this pastime. So once again, we're discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 89, verses 21 to 65. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll discuss this under 3 headings. We have the Brahmana's distress, verses 21 to 34. Arjuna's failure. Arjuna doesn't fail that often. Verses 35 to 44. And then visiting Maha-Vishnu, verses 45 to 65. Let's dive in. Beginning with the Brahmana's distress. So Sukadeva Goswami, he tells us that once there was a Brahmana in Dvaraka, and his wife would give birth to sons, but immediately on their birth, these sons would die. And so Arjuna, he was standing near to the court of the king, Ugrasen Maharaj, and he heard this Brahmana calling out and disparaging the king. And he looked and he saw this Brahmana was standing with his sons. No, he didn't have the son's corpse, but he was standing there in great sadness and anger, saying that the king is not qualified, he's a cheater, he's greedy, he's an enemy of Brahmanas, he is the cause of the death of the Brahmanas' children because he hasn't executed his own duties properly. And he would do this every time one of his sons died, he would come before the royal court, he would have the child's body with him, and he would blaspheme, chastise the king. So this is one nice evidence that even in Vedic culture, it's allowed to chastise the ruler. If they fail in their duty, then the citizens have the right to hold them to account, particularly the brahmanas. But we see here a nice example of free speech, just as an observation. It's not a totalitarian society where someone gets locked up, imprisoned for criticizing the ruler. Here, Ugrasen Maharaj, he tolerates that this brahmana, Krishna tolerates that this brahmana speaks badly about the king in public before the royal court. When the 9th child died in this way, and that was the time that Arjuna happened to hear this brahmana's criticism and pitiful cry and grief. And so Arjuna, he feels compassionate. He's a protector. He's an establisher of Dharma. And so he approached that brahmana and said, "What is it, dear brahmana? Is there some way that I can help you? I hear that you're very angry with the kshatriyas. So maybe you can accept my help. I'm a lowly member of the royal order, and I can stand by your door with my bow in hand, and I can try to offer you protection." He said it's not good for any kingdom when the brahmanas are lamenting loss in that kingdom. And so let me serve you. Let me help you. I will protect you. I will protect your progeny. I will protect your wife. I can see you're in such sadness, such distress, and I will give you my promise that I will be there to serve you. So you see how wonderful Arjuna's compassion, and this, it's coming as also his nature, protective nature, as a kshatriya. The brahmana refused Arjuna's support initially. He said, "Balaram couldn't help me. Krishna couldn't help me. Pradyumna, the best of bowmen, couldn't help me. Aniruddha, he was unable to help me. And so now you are naively telling me that you're going to help me in some way, that you're going to save my sons. But when they failed, Shankarshan, Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, the Chaturvyuha, Krishna, his brother Balaram, and then his son Pradyumna and Aniruddha, the Chaturvyuha appear in Krishna Lila in those relations. When they fail to help me, what will you be able to do? You are very naive." And Arjuna, he stood proudly and said, "I am neither Balaram, nor am I Krishna, nor am I Krishna's son or grandson. Who am I? I am Arjuna, and I carry the Gandiva bow. And I even satisfied Lord Shiva in battle with my prowess. I will definitely be able to bring back your sons. Even if death himself comes to take him, I will do battle with Yama. I will do battle with death himself." And so Arjuna was so confident and forceful in his declaration of support that the brahmana trusted him. And so he said, "Okay, please return home. And when my wife is about to deliver, I will call upon you again." And Arjuna, he said, "Yes, please do so. I will be there for you." So we can pause here briefly and just reflect and just consider here how there's this relationship of support, giving and receiving support. That's actually the basis for relationships, to give and to receive, and these mutual relations of taking support and giving support. That is the basis for interactions. And here we see this nice cooperation between different members of society. The brahmanas, they relied on the kshatriya for justice and protection. The kshatriyas relied on the brahmanas for their example and guidance and their purity, their sanctity. And so you and I, we can also think about this, how we could recognize and fulfill our responsibilities to others in our community to create a strong, interconnected community where everyone feels that they're contributing in some way, that they're valued, that they're able to offer some service. So this mutual responsibility and support, they're foundations for a strong and compassionate and just society as well. We needn't all be the same. That's totalitarianism, where everyone has to think and be and act and do the same thing, dress the same way, speak the same words. That is not the way of this culture that we're seeing here. There is an appreciation of difference as well. And in difference, then we contribute to each other according to our own blessings and gifts and strengths that we make the basis for our service offering. Let's go to our second topic, Arjuna's failure. So you already know what's going to happen here based on the title. Arjuna is determined to help. But what happens is that when the brahmana is about to give, the brahmana's wife is about to give birth, he calls for Arjuna. He says, please come and protect my child from death. And so Arjuna, he stands, he touches water, performs achman. He remembers his celestial weapons, the mantras that are the basis for his celestial weapons. He strings his Gandiva bow, and then he creates a protective shield or sheath, a covering around the house of this brahmana. So you can imagine that the brahmana is living in some simple cottage, but around it there is an encasement of different celestial weapons, and they are above, to the side, they're also below. Arjuna has very wonderful weapons. So he creates this protective encasement to cover the house on all sides. However, it's of no avail. As soon as the child is born, it cries and then disappears into the sky. So this time it doesn't leave a body. Seems previous times the body was left, because Sukadeva Goswami mentions the father would go with the child's body to the court. The brahmana became beside himself with anger and disappointed in himself, angry at Arjuna, how foolish I was to put my faith in this bragging eunuch. He uses strong words. When neither Keshava, nor Rama, nor Pradyumna and Aniruddha could save my sons, how did I put my trust in this liar, Arjuna? He said, to hell with him. To hell with this braggart's bow. He is so foolish that he deluded himself into thinking that he could bring back a person whom destiny has taken away. And so as this brahmana continued to insult him, Arjuna, he set about searching for the son. And his search, it was not limited to Dvaraka or even just the earth. He used his celestial mantras, incantations, to go even to the abode of Lord Yamaraj. He did a search there. He was unable to find the child. And so he went to the cities of Indra, his father. He went to the place of Agni, the god of fire. He went to the place of the moon, Soma, to the place of Vayu, the god of the wind, the god of the seas, Varuna. He went to Niriti, who is also related to death. And wherever he went, with his weapons ready in hand, searching up and down, from the bottom of the subterranean region of the universe to the roof of the heavens, he was unable to find that child. And so he recognized that he had been defeated, and he was preparing to keep his word by entering fire, in that he had failed to keep his promise to a brahmana. So we can pause here and we can reflect and we can think about Arjuna's relentless quest and eventual realization of his limitations. And so we can also just consider the importance of recognizing our own boundaries, the boundaries of our abilities. Escaping death is impossible. We all try, and throughout history, great people have tried to escape death, building a staircase to heaven. In the case of Ravana, or in Babylon, they say that they tried to build a staircase to heaven. Hiranyakashipu sought boons from Brahma that would make him immortal. Today, there are different scientific endeavors to make humans immortal. But here we see Arjuna he's accepting his limitations, and we need to have that humility as well. We do our best to serve, and we do our best to preserve these bodies as well. They have been offered to Krishna in service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Sanatana Goswami, "You have offered your body to me, and I have plans for your body. It is mine, and it is to be engaged in service. So you have to look after it." Sanatana Goswami's body was diseased, and he had given up hope, and he had thought of ending his life. And Lord Chaitanya said, "You can't do that. Your body has been offered to me. You have to take care of it now. We have many plans for how your body will be used in service." And so that is our responsibility. But ultimately, we recognize the limitations and boundedness of this body. And so we must be humble in that as well. We seek divine guidance. We seek to align ourselves with the greater order of the universe. And part of that means also recognizing that everything has its cycle. These bodies, they have a time of birth, a time of growth, a time of maintenance, and then a gradual decay, and finally death. And a wise person, as Krishna tells us in the Gita, a wise person is accepting of this, doesn't lament. Let's go to our third topic, visiting Maha-Vishnu. Just as Arjuna was about to enter fire, Krishna intervened, and he said, "Arjuna, I will show you the brahmana's sons. Don't despise yourself in this way." And so Krishna invited Arjuna to join him on his celestial chariot, and they set off into the heavens. They passed over the 7 islands of the Bhumandala, and each with its 7 oceans and principal mountains. They crossed the Lokaloka mountain range and entered a vast expanse of total darkness. And when they entered that darkness, Krishna's horses became a bit confused. Saibya, Sugriva, Meghapushpa, and Balahaka, Krishna's 5 horses, they lost their way actually in the darkness. And so Krishna, he released his Sudarshan to go before the chariot. And this Sudarshan, it is bright like thousands of suns. And so it lit up the sky. The horses followed behind. And it moved with the speed of mind, cutting through the layers of the universe. And eventually, they came to a place of endless spiritual light called Brahma Jyoti. And when Arjuna beheld that light, he shut his eyes because they were hurting. From there, they entered a celestial body of water, the Karana Ocean. And within that ocean, Arjuna saw an amazing palace, more resplendent than anything he had seen before. It was enhanced by thousands of pillars bedecked with brilliant jewels. There was the huge awe-inspiring serpent Anantadev, shining with the radiance of many gems on its thousands of hoods. And it had many, twice as many eyes, fearsome eyes. He was white like Mount Kailash. His necks and tongues were dark blue. And then Arjuna saw the supreme Godhead, Maha-Vishnu, sitting on that serpent bed, Anantashesh. Sukadev Goswami describes Mahavishnu to us. He said his complexion is bluish, like the color of a dense rain cloud. He wears yellow garments. His face is charming. He has broad eyes and he has long, handsome arms. In this instance, how many arms? 8, Sukadev Goswami says. He had profuse locks of hair that were bathed in the brilliance reflected from the many jewels decorating his crown and earrings. He has his Kastuba mani, his Srivatsa. He has a Vajayanti garland of forest flowers. There are his personal attendants serving him. There are celestial weapons like Sudarshan, and there are his energies, different Shaktis that are there, Pushti, Shri, Kirti, and Aja. Krishna, he offered his homage. Sukadev Goswami says he offered his homage to himself in this boundless form. And Arjuna, astonished, seeing Mahavishnu, bowed as well. And the two of them stood before Mahavishnu with folded palms as Mahavishnu smiled and spoke. How was his voice? Sukadev Goswami says, full of solemn authority. What did he say? And this is what Lord Chaitanya quotes. So you listen attentively what Lord Chaitanya is hearing in this. It's very wonderful. He says, I brought the brahmana's sons here because I wanted to see the two of you who have descended to the earth to save the principles of Dharma. As soon as you finish killing the demons who burden the earth, quickly come back here to me. And so Krishna and Arjuna, they responded in assent. How did they express their assent? That's to say, yes, we agree. Yes, we will do this. They said, Om. Many times in the Vedic literature, they will express their assent by saying Om or Om Svasti. Om is how they replied. And then they saw the sons of the brahmanas coming towards them. And so those boys, they were very joyful to see Krishna and Balaram, Krishna and Arjuna, and to be taken back to Dvaraka. They were presented to the brahmana. And by now, some time has elapsed, but Krishna arranged that they would be in the same infant bodies that they had when they had been lost. So hopefully that brahmana had some support at home, that brahmana and his wife, to look after 9 little babies who suddenly arrived in their home. Arjuna was amazed, having seen the abode of Maha-Vishnu, and he concluded whatever extraordinary power somebody has can only be a manifestation of Krishna's mercy. Sukadev Goswami says, Krishna, he performed many other wonderful, heroic pastimes in this world. And now that he had killed many wicked kings and engaged devotees such as Arjuna in killing others, Krishna could assure the execution of religious principles through the agency of such pious rulers as Yudhisthira Maharaj. So Krishna's purpose has been fulfilled. Sukadev Goswami is telling us that because we are coming to the conclusion of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, which means the conclusion of the description of Krishna's earthly pastimes. Of course, in the 11th canto, we will have Krishna's teachings. So the pastimes will continue we will continue to hear of Krishna's pastimes in his teaching Uddhava. But as far as the 10th book of the Bhagavatam, the 10th canto is concerned, we are coming to a conclusion. And Sukadev Goswami is hinting to us that yes, Krishna's purpose has been fulfilled. Those demons have been removed, and pious rulers like Yudhisthira Maharaj have been established on the throne. We can reflect on this passage and think, like, what is it that Lord Chaitanya loved about this particular passage? It was that Krishna is so beautiful that he attracts even Maha-Vishnu, who is self-sufficient and complete, but yearns to behold Krishna's form. Krishna has 4 qualities of sweetness, of madhurya, that distinguish him even from Maha-Vishnu. Venu madhurya, lila madhurya, prema madhurya, and rupa madhurya. That is, he plays a sweet flute. Here in New York City, we worship Radha Murlidhara, Krishna who plays the flute. He performs many wonderful pastimes like stealing butter or dancing in the Ras Mandala with the gopis in the full moon night of autumn or spring. That he's always surrounded by loving devotees who control him, like Mother Yasoda, who chastises him for stealing butter, or Sri Radha, who can scold him and withhold her, let's say, her presence from him. That makes Krishna mad. And finally, his rupa, his madhurya rupa, his sweet form, his Tribhanga Sundara, his threefold bending form. It is so sweet. And here, Lord Chaitanya, he reads this passage and he says, Krishna is so beautiful that Mahavishnu himself made this elaborate arrangement of stealing a brahmana's sons, knowing that Arjuna would offer protection and that Krishna would have to help Arjuna, and that Krishna would then come to the abode of Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu would get to see Krishna's Madhurya Rupa. And so we can learn from this that as we seek beauty and love in this world, ultimately we are seeking Krishna. That desire, that yearning in our hearts will only be fulfilled in Krishna. All worldly attractions are pale reflections of his supreme, enchanting beauty. So let us conclude with a prayer. Beloved Krishna, in the meantime, if you have any questions, reflections, comments, type them into the chat as we pray. Beloved Krishna, divine enchanter of the universe, we bow down before your transcendent beauty, which even Mahavishnu yearns to behold. In the Brahmana's distress and Arjuna's promise of protection, we see the necessity of mutual support and responsibility. Teach us, O Krishna, to recognize our roles in the fabric of society and to collaborate to create a compassionate and just world. From Arjuna's failure, we learn humility. Guide us to understand our limitations, to strive with all our might, yet humbly accept that some outcomes are beyond our control. Help us to surrender to your divine will, finding peace in your cosmic order. In Vishnu's enterprise of stealing the Brahmana's sons just to see you, we witness your unparalleled beauty. May we seek your divine presence, transcending worldly attractions, and immerse ourselves in your sweet, eternal beauty, finding joy and love that surpass all. Okay, let me acknowledge some of you who arrived after I started speaking. And and in the meantime, if you have questions, comments, reflections, please do share. So we have with us, let's see, Deepak Kumar says hello. Welcome, Deepak. We have Swami. We have a sannyasi, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. I didn't see you earlier. Thank you for joining, gracing us with your presence. Yeah, we are grateful for your association. Even if it was a brief moment, I don't know if you're still here, but thank you. Lalasmayi says, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Lalasmayi. Grateful to have you here. Janavamata says, Gaur Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Janavamata joining us from Dunedin in the South Island of New Zealand. Krishangi joining us from Sydney, Australia, says Hare Krishna. Tarak Gorai says Hare Krishna. Welcome, Tarak. Thanks for joining us. Nikunja is with us from New Zealand, Auckland. Nikunja says, Hare Krishna, Sri Prahlad Prabhu. Thank you for your presence, all of you. Let me see. We have Bhagavatam says, such a beautiful concluding prayer, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhagavatam. So grateful that you can be with us. We have with us Dragbolt, who says, please continue this live every day, Prabhuji. Lots of support from Kolkata, India. Thank you, Dragbolt from Kolkata. Dhanyavad. We have this discussion twice weekly. So I love your enthusiasm and your taste, your yearning for more Harikatha. That's most wonderful. We are limited. So twice weekly is when we lead this kata. But thank you so much for your enthusiasm. Manga Radhika is with us. 6096 Gopal, 79 Becky, Bhagavatam saying Hare Krishna. Steve Kiwi Wells, that's Ananda Kirtan, I believe, from Sydney, Australia, is with us. Sonali Goila says Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here. DMK246 has been with us as well. Hey, Pani Puri Vibes. I like that name. It brings back fond memories. Manu Roy 143. Introvert Yashu and Devesh Beha 10. Devesh says, this is Devesh. Thanks, Devesh. Devesh says, Hare Krishna, Sri Prahlad Prabhu. Jai, Mary Manju 2021, Bharat Joshi, and lots of others. Thank you all. Melp 812, Hardik Parma 8370, Narachat 7, Harshu Kapadia, Narendra Yadav. That's a nice name. You have Krishna's name, Yadav. Krishna is the leader of the Yadus. Wonderful. Let's see here. Okay, so we have some questions. First, a comment from Kirtida, who says, beautiful prayer. Thank you. Grateful for the class. Thank you. Kirtida joining us from Norway. Shama Manjari says, thanks. Very beautiful prayer. Grateful for the and class. Thank you, Shama Manjari in South Africa. Janavamata says, thank you as always for sharing the nectar. These pastimes are truly satisfying to the heart. It seems Lord Maha-Vishnu was telling Arjuna and Krishna what to do, i.e. come back to him. Did he know Krishna's true position, or was he covered by Yoga Maya? There are many people in the world, many people who think Lord Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu, and exchanges like this can be confusing for them. Yeah, you're right. So Maha-Vishnu, he is appearing, or Kirdakashay Vishnu, Paramatma, Janardana, he's appearing as many Leela avatars to establish Dharma, to protect devotees. So all the Leela avatars, generally, we take them to be incarnations of Janardana or Kirdakashay Vishnu. Now, 5,000 years ago, the goddess Bhumi, she approached Brahma and said the demons have invaded the earth. Brahma took her to the other devatas to the shore of the Milk Ocean, where Kirdakashay Vishnu resides, and they prayed to Kirdakashay Vishnu to appear on earth. And he communicated to Brahma within his heart, Brahma Hridaye, that he will appear on earth and that the Devatas should prepare themselves by also appearing in the families of the Yadus and the Vrishnis and so on. So from that description, we understand that it is Vishnu who's appearing to protect Dharma and to kill demons. That's his role. That's what he does. He's the maintainer of the universe. So what happens is 5,000 years ago, we had a very special situation where not only did Vishnu come as he does in each, he has his schedule, different incarnations come according to a schedule. Not only did Vishnu come as Vasudeva Krishna, the son of Devaki and Vasudev, but Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, the origin of all Vishnus and Lakshmis and worlds and universes, he came as well. So we have a dual incarnation, so to speak. Nandanandan Krishna, he performs pastimes in Braj Bhumi. He brings his own Braj Bhumi from Goloka to this world, and he establishes Boma Vrindavan, and he performs his sweetness, his pastimes of sweetness. And at the same time, Vasudeva Krishna is performing pastimes of killing demons, particularly in Mathura and Dvaraka. So in that sense, if someone says Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu, it's also not wrong. It's not the full truth because truth is complex. But it is also not wrong. There is some way in which this is true as well. The higher truth is revealed earlier in the Bhagavatam, where Sukadev Goswami says, Ete Chamsa Kalo Pumsa, or actually it's Sutta Goswami. He says, all of these incarnations are portions or plenary portions of the original Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But that is a truth that is less well known. Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he reveals this. And it is there. It is there. And Lord Chaitanya reveals it in pastimes like this and in other places as well. But it is also a hidden truth. And so we shouldn't be too surprised if people are confused, because it is a wonderful treasure of a secret that is only revealed to some who receive special mercy. Then you're asking, did he know did Mahavishnu himself know Krishna's true position? Because he seems to be telling Arjuna and Krishna what to do to come back to him. Whether he knows or doesn't know, I haven't. His general attitude is that he's the Supreme Godhead, and so he's giving orders in this way. But whether he's overwhelmed in a sense by that pastime of being the Supreme Godhead, that he loses. Lakshmi knows. Krishna tells us, Lord Chaitanya tells us, Lakshmi knows. She's performing austerities in order to enter the Ras Leela, to be with Krishna and the gopis. So Lakshmi knows. And we can have a sense that here Lord Chaitanya is revealing to us that Mahavishnu knows as well. You're finding something in his language that might suggest that he doesn't, but that language might also just be who he is. That's the way he talks. He's talking like Mahavishnu, even if he's made this very complex arrangement to have this darshan of Krishna's Madhurya Rupa. So yeah, thank you for the question, Janava Mata. David says, Hare Krishna from London. Thanks, David. And then joining us from I can't read that script. Maybe Thailand says Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you. We have with us Shama Lucky, who says pranams. Thank you for joining. And then there's my wife, Shigandarvika, joining us from here in New York. Maybe just coming back from work, who says Hari Bol. Thanks. We'll see you soon. And then there's Wayne, who says, Hare Krishna, dear Sri Prahlad, looking forward to your visit to Sydney on the 21st. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. So we will conclude here. May you deepen in your taste for hearing Srimad Bhagavata Katha and for may you deepen in your taste for chanting Krishna's holy name with attention. Nam Kirtan. May your appreciation of Krishna's appearance and accepting your service as Sri Vigraha deepen day by day. May your attachment to and taking shelter of Sri Dham, the place of Krishna's pastimes, or where Krishna is served, the holy dhams, also the temples, may that deepen day by day. And day by day, may you deepen in your love and appreciation and service and glorification of Vaishnavas. Take every opportunity to love and to serve and to support and to receive guidance and care and love from Vaishnavas, because their mercy is the foundation on which our bhakti grows. And as your practice deepens, may your heart be softened with compassion that impels you to share the treasures of bhakti far and wide. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.